Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We are reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to analyzing the stories that I read out to you earlier. My guest on the show today is Hassan Sadauna, who is a public affairs analyst. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Anabel.
Great. All right, we have so many both interesting and really sad stories on all of our nation's newspaper this morning. I was actually talking about the many death stories, whether in Plateau State or in Benue State, but let's not start with bad news. Or maybe let's not start with death story, even though there are so many bad news, because the fact that inflation rate has increased, but then interest rate has now been increased to 26.25%. The Vanguard newspaper says inflation battle, CBN rises interest rates to 26.25% as OPS protest. And then there you have on the Guardian newspaper that they broke it down into bits and pieces, how it will affect businesses and all of that. But then if you go to the New Telegraph, hardship, chaos looms, life becoming tough for average Nigerians. That's coming from ACF, that's the Arewa Consultative Forum, as they're warning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But on the flip side, Daily Independent, another newspaper, says national minimum wage, governors absent, stalls negotiation as Labour reject 54,000 naira offer. According to Labour, they say 54,000 naira it's not going to do anything for any average family, so they are rejecting that offer. But then the fact that whether they're accepting or they're rejecting it, the people that are going to pay the minimum wage to the states, they're not even on the round table. They were absent, even though the meeting is going to continue today again. That's like different headline I'm putting together. The CBN interest rates that has been increased, that will affect businesses, even though they said they're trying to do it so as to reduce inflation rates. And then on the flip side, you have the national minimum wage at 54,000, but Labour says no, we're not taking it because it's an insult to Nigerians. And then ACF is telling Tinubu crisis is looming, and it looks, let me just paraphrase it, looks like when you push a goat too far and then you are so surprised that the goat begins to bite. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Okay, thank you, Anabel. This is not news now about the hardship or there is tendency of crisis looming, or the economic hardship, or the economic twist, the inflation, the CBN's attempting some policies that will bound on Nigerian citizens. Okay, let me start with CBN raising their interest from, I think, 23 to 26,
24.
To 24 to 26%. Whatever it is that we are in a very hard and condition of economy in Nigeria, which we have never seen in the history of Nigeria. Having people are not eating 3 times meals consecutively. Maybe that we were very young boys when Gideon Oka attempted to overthrow the government of Babangida, when he said the hardship that Babangida meted on Nigerian citizens, where people are eating 101, 011, or 110. That is the formula feeding operation he was talking about at the time. But now I think we are talking about 001. Or 100 or 010.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that is the truth about the matter. And then secondly, somebody is seeing it in the other way. When there is no security, you are not expecting the economy to be reliable and successful. The citizens of any country that are meted to pay a high cost of, what do we call it, interest or any tax, is just be falling back to that very citizens. What we normally see in the developed countries are those countries that are very sincere and serious in the making. You will come to realize that they normally even give waiver to some business people, especially the importers, those who bring goods that are very important
at a very low interest.
In a low interest,
right?
Where there is necessity, like food or wherever. The medical care or whatever health cares, medicines will be given, even what do we call it, waivers, so that the citizens now, just things that you can afford to buy, a medicine, a drug that you can afford to buy at the rate of 5,000 today is about 50,000.
Right.
So if that is it, you are expecting people to start buying substandard medicine, some fake drugs, because you have given an advantage for those who produce fake low standard, substandard, whatever we can call them, to do what they want to do, because an ordinary man just need to have something to take, so that he pray and expect there will be a curing of his sickness or whatever. So coming to again what the SCF is saying, that crisis is looming with the hardship. That one, there is no two ways about it. Anabel, you have seen in Zaria, somebody stopped to pray. Before he came back, he's a driver of the trailer, carrying Indomie, spaghetti and whatever. People have taken away those things. A trailer had an accident somewhere around Katsina. The people of those villages came and be taking the bags of that very rice and whatever on the trailer. In Kebbi State, we saw another trailer was stopped and been ransacked by the populace. So if you are talking about hardship, is bringing almost we are in there is a crisis looming. You are not lying, but the fact remains, we want the SCF to be talking with soft voice and mutual understanding. There are some certain things that you don't put on air, so that the populace to create panic or to give an advantage to talks and hoodlums who are after creating chaos and whatever. Because our peace, whatever the hardship is, the peace is better than the crisis. When you just look at Sudan, last year somewhere around this time, I think they started the crisis during immediately after fasting. That is Ramadan. Today is just 1 year with some few weeks. You don't need to look at Sudan twice. Look at what happened to Libya. In Libya, during Abacha times, when you go to Libya or Obasanjo time, you realize that Libyans are living very okay. Any citizens of Libya was entitled of house. Any citizens of Libya can eat 3 times square meals. Any citizens of Libya have a medical care coverage from the government and whatever. But people were brainwashed and believe some Western countries that no, your president have overdue, your president have done that. If you look at, we are talking about democracy. If you go to, for example, Germany, the last chancellor, that is that woman, Angela Merkel, she served for 17 years. Which type of democracy they are serving 17 years? Because it's their choice. Anything that is not interest to the global Western world, it is not more a good governance. But whatever they want to do, they will do it on their style. Whatever their crisis, look, let me tell you, when the Chinese and the Russians and the Japanese and some other countries, Far Eastern countries, who are now making waves in the world economy, are coming to Africa, the Western world have started propagating and doing propagandas that these people will come and dominate us and take away our this and that. While these people that are making this propaganda are the same people that colonize you and gave you adult education, instead of giving you a standard education that you will going to work and create this laptop and computer and manufactured cars and whatever. But they gave you an education that you can only sell and buy what? A slave. Nothing more than that. And to God be the glory today, because of our intelligence of being an Africans, we can able to be the best doctors like Nigeria in the world. Anywhere you go in the global world, we have many foreign doctors than any country. And that's enough. You see some people who are being given chances and makes waves in the global world, like this Jelani when he was in America, General Motors. He was the best designer then,
right.
All his stuff. So what am I trying to say here is that we must appreciate the peace that we are having now.
Right.
The leadership of Arewa Consultative Forum must understand that anything that is peace, there is no negotiation in having peace. But for the government should come to their senses.
So coming to their senses, sorry I had to put in. Coming to their senses now, does it mean accepting 615,000 naira minimum wage or rejecting 54,000 naira minimum wage?
No, to be honest, it's an absurd for having offering 54,000 to the Nigerian civil servants or workers. It's not only a civil servant. If you go to private sectors, you come to realize that they are earning more than the government. Yes, when you go to the state.
But not all, though.
I'm not saying not all, but I'm just talking about the reality. But in the government, who is earning more than 54? It's just few agencies, not ministries, agencies. You are talking about FIRS, NDIC, CBN, Petroleum Equalization Fund, PEF, PPPRA, all those type of places. They are the ones that earn very well. And most of them, if you go and find out the people that are working there, out of 100%, 85% are the sons and daughters of bourgeois of Nigeria, and that is children of proletarian classes. So if you are talking about those people, they are not masses. They have something to inherit from the parent who have ransacked Nigerian treasury to what we are today. It is not a fear to say the truth. But the fact remains, when you go to the ministry, how much are they earning? And this thing that they are talking about, 54,000 per, when they come to implement it, there are plus and minus. They will going to tell you that, oh, you are a senior staff already. Your minimum wage have reached 88,000. Your minimum wage have reached 90,000. They can only add 2,000 into your salary. I want to tell you this. The real increment is this type of increment that Buhari did, a 40% increment. That was what Jonathan did 2010, if you remember. He made a very, the increment was about 62%. Or more than 62% then. Then later it was, since then there was no any reasonable increment. It was 18,000 minimum wage. Then later Buhari 30,000 minimum wage. It was not an increment. It's nothing. It's just a hoax. But later when they make the 40% increment of, what do they call it, of this Buhari, every Nigerian that this thing affected knew that has a good salary that was increased by Muhammadu Buhari. This 35% of what is Ahmed Bola Tinubu is better than this 54,000 minimum wage. Let me tell you this.
Really?
Yes, because it's something that you can, it's subject to reality. You do your percentage of your salary. If it is 100,000, you add 25% is added. What is the 25% of 100,000? Maybe it's 20,000 or 25,000. You know that. But if your salary is 100,000, your minimum wage is 54,000. Already remember the minimum wage is 30,000 for only level 3.
Right.
So you are level 12 or 13 or level 15 as an assistant director. You have already chopped your 54 minimum wage. So the increment will be not more than 1,000 or 2,000. We know what they are talking about. So let them be very sincere and honest, so that the renewed hope that they are talking about, let it be exemplified by their discussion with Labour Congress and other trade unions organization in Nigeria. But anything less than that, people are losing hope.
So doesn't it even surprise you that the people who are supposed to pay this minimum wage are not even seated? So it means you just talk whatever you want to talk. That's your problem. That
now that you have touched me where I'm feeling itching. You itch me where I have been expecting. This itching that that you come with, I want to tell you the Nigerian problems are Nigerian executive governors of 36 states of Nigeria.
Interesting.
Yes.
Also.
Thank you very much. Just last month, if I can remember vividly, there are some alerts that are going around in Nigerian state government. From two of them, one from Borno, one from I think Kebbi or which state, that they are still collecting 5,000 as a salary. 5,000 in the local government. And behold, This 5,000 that we are talking about, even I heard the Commissioner of Education or Information of Borno State came out and be talking something. When he was talking, he was saying that when the governor came, he make his verification. These people that are talking about 5,000, they were not dismissed. They were allowed. They don't have a genuinity of authentication certificate that they can be workers in the local government or the state. But because he has a sympathy with the situation of Nigeria today, that there is no work, poverty is there, and you know Borno is a remnant of Boko Haram and others. No. If that is true, let them put them in what we call social welfare package. There is social welfare package in other countries where they mean business and they mean for their citizens. But in Nigeria, somebody just want to tell you a good language, want to speak. That is why we are speaking best English, but we don't have even food to eat, because we don't believe in reality. If you can speak a better English, you are better than me. That is what an ordinary thinking of Nigeria. But let me tell you, if we come to discuss this in very real, you should understand in the area council, local government, and that of the state government, there are states that cannot afford to pay 18,000 minimum wage. Anabel, talk less of the 30,000 that we are talking about. Right. But coming to, if you talk of Lagos and Edo, they have put their minimum wage to be at 70,000. What more of a federal government? And these people that were supposed to be in the meeting with the Labour Congress and whatever, in order the tripartite committee, they were not on the seat yesterday. They were not seated. The governors are absent. So those who are absent, what are you expecting? The word you use that nothing, I'm the one to pay, whether you decisions of I don't care attitude, taking Nigerian citizens for granted. That is what it sometimes when you look. That is why I said the SCF must deal, must mind their word with what do we call it, with cautions.
But isn't it's there already? Now the governors who are supposed to pay, they are not available. That's glaring already. Yeah. Then the ACF is now saying what they are seeing. So don't you think that is they're not saying what they're seeing though?
Yes, they are saying what they are seeing because it's real. But what am I trying to say? That is why they must talk consciously, very careful, because the situation we are in Nigeria is just just like somebody sitting on a time bomb or what do we call it, mine. What do they call it? This mine that explodes. You know, once you remove your leg, it is going to explode. So this is why we are saying that I'm saying that they should be very careful, because already the governors of Nigerian state they are our problem. Let me give you an example. A local government that was earning 200 million before the last government left, before this government, I want to tell you today they are earning more than 900 million naira per annum, per month.
What local government are you referring to?
Any local government that is earning 200 million in Nigeria is earning more than 900 million today. One of the local government chairmen that left his job because of this is from Kano State, Ungogo local government. He came out boldly and said it, that when from the month that they remove, what do we call it, subsidy, that month, the alert he has been seeing for local government, this thing, he was collecting 900, he's seen the alert of 950 million.
Oh, wow. And
he asked for even 200 million to do some certain project or assistance. They refused him. No 200 naira was given to him. And it is the same thing. We are here in Abuja. The area council in Abuja that were collecting almost 500, 600 million. They are almost collecting 2 billion today. No any area council in Abuja that is collecting below 1 billion naira. I want you to tell you this. And for that reason, they are even lucky, because the minister is not taking a dime from their money. The money come to their post directly after the JAC meeting. But let me tell you, for the state, there will be, some of them have refurnished their offices here in Abuja. They cannot go to their state. They spend 3 days in the state and spend 4 days here in Abuja.
That's why you see Yobe State House in Abuja. You see Benue State House in Abuja.
Kano,
you see Kano State House.
Enugu.
Interesting. All right, still, let's still stay on around that same story. Now we have I think it's almost all the papers, but let me take it from the blueprint. It says 2027 APC tackles Atiku and Obi over merger talk, and then Ganduje says that they are just okay. Let me take the next one from this day newspaper. Says Ganduje says, although not election period yet, we are working to secure Tinubu's re-election. Federal government policies focused on what work best for Nigerians, coming from Shetima's aid rather. That's what he says. But then Ganduje is saying that it is not election season. We are in 2024, but we are working towards bringing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu back again in 2027. Can't we just talk administration, governance, and leave politics? We are still in 2024. We have 3 years again to go. And then we are already looking at the next election when food inflation is going record high, when children are still not in school. We have unschooled children, we have unemployment, but we are already in 2024, looking forward to 2027 election. And then he says that Atiku and Peter Obi's merger, it is just a facade. But then I hear him, I was trying to look for the headline where he stated that Tinubu's government has done very well for Nigerians, and he's speaking for Nigerians. So I said I was going to ask you, is he speaking for you? Hassan Sadauna.
Okay. Anabel, you know me very well. I'm an architect and good supporter of this government.
Right.
But sometimes that should not stop you from saying the truth. You are not coming from a sky. You are not different from other humanities. We are all Nigerians. If you voted for PDP, I voted for APC, he voted for Labour, that one voted for SDP. We are going the same market. We have the same security challenges. We have the same economic difficulties. So when somebody said he is doing very well, yes, I will not say no within his own understanding and what he has seen that I have not seen, what he has known that I don't know. Let me give you an example. If you take Kano State, for example, among the states in the northern Nigeria, especially northwest, that are ravaged with banditry, Kano State is isolated, and Jigawa State. And I knew that their last governors and the present governors are doing enormous, doing well, and put their foot in their step, in their predecessors' steps, so that they can keep that, what do we call it, bumper of peace and security to continue in that very state. It's a good work. Somebody cannot deny those people that they are doing, for example. But when you come to a federal government, you said so. Yes, I have this discussion with somebody. He said, all these difficulties we are seeing, we are even lucky. I said, what is the lucky all about it? He said, the other people, hadn't been there, the one that emerged to be in the center of the government. You mean the opposition party? Yes, either PDP or Labour. He said, you will see wonders, more than what you are seeing today. I said, I don't know. That's why if Ganduje said that Tinubu is doing very well. Yes, he is doing very well, because still we have Nigeria as a country. But are we having Nigeria as somebody that cannot eat 3 times in your stomach or my stomach? No. If you can't able to eat 3 times. Out of 100 people, 78 to 90% of Nigerians cannot eat 3 times square meals per day.
So it's relative.
When you say that Nigeria, the president is doing well, I don't believe in that. But when you said generally we are enjoying being a united Nigerians, up to now we have a hope that Nigeria that we are having, or somebody is just like, what is his name? Let Dr. Bello Metama Yusuf, Damasan Nkano was saying that he had a dream too, that one day Nigeria, who has been ravaged by challenges of security, tribalism, all these differences, will be united and become a strong and reliable Nigeria. If that you are talking about, I also believe that he is doing something. But with the types of tax we are enjoying, the tax type
did you
of
say enjoying?
Can we not say it's enjoying? But there are some certain things that you cannot stop. If you come to FCT, the structures that are going on with the minister is doing very well. So it is the government of Tinubu, that is Abuja here. We are doing very well. We can see it. All the road connected to some main central areas have been opened by and done by Wiki. What his predecessor has not done in 8 years. He came and renewed the hope of civil servants in FCT, creating Civil Service Commission, creating head of service, giving them a chance to be permanent secretaries. So it is done only in the government of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. So no one can take this away from them or take this credit from him, that this government has done that for the citizens of FCT, which happen to be the hope of the country. And then when you go to, you are here, you know that there is a job given from Lagos to Coastal Highway to Calabar, and the cost of 16 trillion naira. Even the crisis is there, that his son is part of the directors of Chogri and Chogri. So all these things should be counted at an advantage.
As part of the advantage.
All right. Yes.
All right, so let's get your thoughts with the fact that why are we in 2024 and we are already calculating 2027 election?
That makes you to be a Nigerian.
Interesting.
Those who run, they are running faster than their shadows. When you emerge to be in the governance at the center point, you are not supposed to be talking about 2024-7. Maybe you should allow Atiku, Peter, Obi and co. to be talking about that. And they are talking about that maybe because they were not convinced that your government can do better. So they should start mapping out. They realize that their division makes them to fall apart and disintegrate during the election. I believe if there is Atiku and Tinubu with Kwankwaso, who came from PDP before, were still then PDP members, and they work for their party, you cannot see the crack of, what is his name, Wike. PDP will win the election with the number of vote APC
you actually think so?
Yes, because the unity. Are we not having this common language? United we stand, divided we fall. They divided and they fall apart. So when they come together and work towards 2027 and they start talking, you won't stop them from talking. But I can understand with Ganduje sometimes when he said in 24 we are working to reclaim 27 by Bola Tinubu. Okay, what are they working for? Yes, let them work to bring peace, bring SOCO in the economy, bring levelity in the education, and whatever that Nigerians need. Yes, when you do it and convince us, you have really worked for Tinubu coming 2027. But anything against that, you know that we will going to kick against your master. That's the truth.
All right, so let's go straight to other stories this morning. Daily Trust says Kano assembling to amend law Ganduje used to dethrone Sanusi. And I saw in another story where it actually says that the Sanusi might be coming back. Let's get your thoughts in that regard.
Okay, I heard about that. You know, I'm from Kano.
Yes,
I know the brouhaha that took place the other time.
Right.
What brought the Sanusi to lose his throne. And now they are trying to reverse the laws that makes or give an opportunity to create 4 more emirates from the former Kano emirate. You know, it is only in Kano state before then we have 1 emir through the 44 local government, the biggest emirate in Nigeria, the biggest chiefdom in Nigeria, that none is comparable to them. Even today, with the 5 emirates that we are having in Kano state, still the Kano emirate is the still biggest emirate in Nigeria because it covers all up to about 13 local government. In what are we saying? In the past emirateship that was created, I am not disputing, I am not against it, and I am not for it. Why I was not against it is that it brings more people closer to the government. Because by creating Beach Emirates, Gaya Emirates, Rano Emirates, Kara Emirates, and then having the defunct Kano Emirate as the 5th one, most of opportunities come. When they come, they will say, take it, this is for the Kano State Emirate. Somebody, if you know Kano very well, from inside Kano down to Tudunwoda, a local government, which is Dogwa local government, which is a border to almost Kano, Kaduna, and Bauchi state, is something else. When you are talking about what do we call it, Take local government, which is also a border to Jigawa and Bauchi somewhere, it is another thing. When you are talking about, what do we call it, Makoda and what do we call Dambata, it is another wall from Kano to Jigawa going to Daura. The same thing if you are coming from talking about Rogo and Kara here down to what do we call it, almost border to Kaduna with Makarfi. So those people, before coming to the Kano, the central, for the emirate or to take their own opportunities, maybe yes, 5,000 or 2,000 police were earmarked to, for Kano State. That is the quota of Kano State. Okay, the state government have taken 1,000. Then they will going to share the form to their people, or the people will going to buy. Then they are, because there is this favor in our side, then the emirate were given 1,000. So how are you expecting the Danbata, Albasu Take and others to get their own? But now, since they have Rano covers Tudungoda, Take, what do we call it, Bebeji, and some local government and Dogwa. When you are talking about Bichi cover Gwarzo, Kabo, Dambata, Makoda, Sanyawa, and others there. When you are talking about Karae, the Rogo, Karae, and Kura, Madobi, and some of those areas again.
Okay.
Gaya has covered Gaya Albasu, Wudil, Ajingi, and others. So it has eased the central focal point. And these very places now today, when you go, they have been emanated to have a general hospitals. Very standard, world standard hospital. They have fire service. They have area commands. They have new roads in the in their township roads. Okay. They have mini stadiums. You understand what I'm saying? All of them, if you come through, it is only in Kano State, in Nigeria, northern Nigeria, when they are doing Salah celebration. We spend 7 days in the Salah celebration. Hawan Daushe, Hawan Salah, Hawan Kofa Nasarawa, Fani, so Kofar Famfo, and others. 7 days, the emir will be going place to places, and people will be coming from around the world. Okay. You see the Europe, Oyibo, and whatever. So those who are coming from the villages, the outside state, they came here and make economy booming. If everybody will buy a bread of 100, how many millions will going to be having covered? You covered that day. So now these things have been decentralized to different places, or the other villages and local government will be going to every zone up to 5. That has boomed the economy and understanding in that very place. So for them to dethrone these emirs now, I don't know how it will going to work. Because these people have members that are representing their local government. And I believe some of these local government people will ask, if you go and peradventure to remove our emir, take it, you are going, or we're going to deal with you. So totally crisis are there looming. Yeah, which I come to understand on that. There is nothing that will stop this thing that I'm talking about. If care is not taken, I hope and wish the securities will write a very, what do we call it, a report that will going to help and avert these things that is coming. Because sometimes when somebody is in the coveted glass house, he doesn't know what is happening. He can decide to start throwing stone from inside, thinking that he is safe, but he is not more safe. And that was why when anybody that has been following the tribunal something in Nigeria was having in mind that Kano State and NPP will lose at the tribunal at the end of the day. But they were given. One of the reasons is because of security challenges. That if this Abba Kabir Yusuf been denied the governor of Kano State, there will be a crisis. So crises were looming. Seriously, because I'm from Kano and I know that. So for that reason, they took advantage of that, and whatever happened, and they took it. Now, they shouldn't use the same thing to create problem in Kano State. Because these people there are 2 people that are emirs, the sons of former emir, late emir Ado Bayero, Aminu Ado Bayero, and the Nasiru Ado Bayero. These are very prominent citizens, very rich, very friendly, accommodating people, taking care of their people. All this while before they became an emir. Somebody who has been enjoying his central government, his bank industries, came and disregard everybody, has no respect for anybody. He's been talking like not an emir. The meaning of that regalia that is covering your mouth is to keep your mouth shut, to show that you are an identity of authority. You are an identity of culture and tradition. To respect the authority, you only talk when it's necessary. But when you are talking anyhow, just because you feel like you are an economist, you know you are
Are you accusing
yes,
the economist, the former emir,
the emir
and CBN?
He was talking too much. He was turning to be an emir that looked like a canary, and this is unaccepted in the culture and tradition of Nigerian Northern Emirateship. But you don't talk anyhow.
There's a possibility that he might be coming back, according to what we saw in the headline.
I am not disputing you. That is why I'm telling you now that the securities should do everything eminently to make sure that they have write a very standard and comprehensive report to take it to the president so that this thing will going to be averted.
So are you saying that if he becomes again, or if he comes back again to become the emir, there will be crisis?
Definitely, we are seeing another matters in if case is not taken.
Are you saying that people that are not, he doesn't have his own followers?
When he was mentioned as an emir during the last government, when he was mentioned an emir, if you don't know, it was 11 days. People are killing each other in Kano State during Jonathan. It was only covered. No, you can't come out. The town, the Kano State city was not like the city. He was announced and kept inside the state government house for good 14 days. Before later, things were mounted down, calmed down. But all other some government outfits were burned. People kill one another. A lot of economic setback was met up during that very crisis. But when this man was announced, in less than 15 minutes, his house was covered by citizens of Kano, chanting and jubilating and very happy. This is the differences.
All right, Hassan Sadauna, we need to round up because press does not give us enough time to talk these matters.
Thank you.
So definitely we are going to bring you back probably on another conversation, conversation, so that people would understand the Kano and the Emirate, because a lot of people don't even understand. I'm just even learning that you have so many of all these Emirates. Yes. So a lot of people do not even understand that you have so many of them, and if they're brought down, it will definitely bring about crisis. So we need to avert that.
Thank you.
So we need to let that go. Let's take our last headline before we let you go. Tinubu okays 750 million US for rural electrification. And if you remember correctly, that rural electrification was suspended. I think it was in March or so, where there was an alleged fraud case with regards to that agency. That's the Rural Electrification Agency, about the tune of 1.2 billion naira at the time. But now you're having an approval of this amount of money. That means the rural electrification is coming back. So I'm even wondering, when they were there, what exactly did they do for those? They were supposed to help, especially just up until today. Hassan Sadauna, I have seen so many villages in Abuja that has never seen electricity. And those are the places that we should be seeing the effect of rural electrification. What are your thoughts in this regard?
Okay, Anabel. I will still take you back to something that I have just said not quite a long time. This is the effects of those things. The effects of state government holding the local government autonomy to ransom is the key factor to our problems. Seeing a local government, villages without light. There are electrification, primary school, feeder road, primary health care, and other things are done by local government. And this money being held and chopped and eaten by the state government. So where will you going to get the light in the villages? You will not. And with this system of ban A, ban B, ban D, how would the villages get the light? Where is the courage for someone to go and put a light?
So are you exonerating the activity or the duties or responsibility of the Rural Electrification Agency?
But the fact remains that whatever they did, there will be a maintenance and what do we call it, extension of hand helps from the local government and the state. But the local government are the more people that are going to be buying transformers, connecting the villages with lights and whatever. It is there in the primaries, an objective of any chairman that want to come on board. But what I want to tell you here is that that rural electrifications were did before during the Second Republic, and they were enjoying. I can give you an example. In Kaduna State, the former governor of Kaduna State, led Abubakar Balarabe Musa, was single-handedly electrified almost everywhere in Kaduna State and the defunct Katsina, present Katsina. The same thing, the late Dr. Abubakar Rimi electrified the former Kano, Jigawa, and present Kano State. The same thing, if you are from Imo, maybe some Mbakwe, have done that to everywhere. But these people that has come now, who have enjoyed, you see, what am I annoyed with? Whatever you see in the Igbo land, they will tell you, Nnamdi Azikiwe. When you come to the north, whatever they cited, they will tell you is Ahmadu Bello. If you go to the west, they will tell you Akintola or Awolo. These are people who died since. And up to now, you can't get a university better than Ahmadu Bello University in Kano, in Zaria. The same thing in Nigerian University in Suka. The same thing if you go to Ibadan University. The same thing.
Are you actually saying that all of these universities we have now, even the private universities, the state universities, they are nothing compared to...
When you go to the state university, you will find out there will be no 10 professors in a university. All are visiting lecturers. You must know this very well. So what am I trying to say is that we must change and reset our mind in Nigeria to make sure that wherever each and every of us find him or herself is a he or she is representing others that are not there. Anything less than that, we will continue be having a Nigeria with corny behaviors.
Hassan, Sadauna, that's a very good place to end this conversation. Thank you so much for your time with us. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
Thank you for having me, Anabel.
All right, so viewers, let's go straight to our social media corner and take one or two posts that trended yesterday on social media. And the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, tweeted or X'd, says, "Congratulations, my darling Toby, on your graduation from Yale University yesterday. Your hard work and diligence paid off. Wishing you all the best as you embark on a new chapter of your life. And I am so glad that I have one less school fees to pay." Okay, so one particular Xer or Twitter or tweet or responder decided to say and respond saying, as a governor of a state coming publicly to tell Nigerians that his daughter is graduating from a foreign university, so obviously he is announcing to the world that the universities under his care as a state governor is not good enough. And that's the reason why I took that one, was because of what Hassan Sadauna said. Anyway, Yale University is actually an Ivy League university. You have to be very, very intelligent for you to enter it. Anyways, let's go straight to other story. And this one is from Daniel Boala, who says, "At Peter Obi only stands the chance to be Nigeria's president from 2039, when he will clock 79 or above 79 years. By then, his message would no longer be vote me because I am the younger of the candidates, but it will be vote me because age doesn't matter but capacity." The reason at official Abat, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will finish his 2 terms, then power would come to the north for another 8 years before it goes to the south. The e-rodents who keep shouting, "We are the youth," by then would be saying, "We are the elders. Blessed week ahead." Looks like Bola is becoming another gas boost. I'll take my last one, and this one is from Total Energies. Says Total Energies chose Angola over Nigeria for $6 billion energy project due to policy inconsistencies. And that's when we saw that headline. That's when the one that actually says investors decide to put Nigeria on voicemail and go to Angola. That's the one I was talking about. I said I was going to bring it up on social media. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you again tomorrow. It's been a wonderful time here on The Press. Keep watching KAFTAN Television. My name is Anabel Orji. Good morning.